I want to take a look at 3 plays from Stokes from this past week against the Seahawks because he's been doing some really good stuff. And he's kind of forced into a larger role than I know, certainly than I anticipated going into this year. And he's looked really good. There were some question marks about him coming out of Georgia. He obviously had the speed. The raw talent was there, but there were some things that potentially needed to clean up. We didn't know some of it just because we didn't see the ball thrown his way very often with Georgia. But I was high on him out coming out of college just because he did played under Kirby Smart, played under some systems that ask a lot of the cornerbacks, and he put some good stuff out. But I certainly didn't expect him to be this good this soon. And so we're going to look at 3 plays. This first one, we're not going to get into the broader concept or anything, but we're basically going to see Stokes on an island. So you're going to get this outside release, and then Stokes is going to kind of follow him in. So we're going to kind of watch it and let it roll, and then we'll go back and watch the rest. So the ball is going to be thrown in his direction, and there's just nowhere to put it. So you can see, okay, he stays with him. Wilson throws it up over the top, and if anything, ball goes out of reach. If anything, that could have been offensive pass interference because there's a lot of grabbing down there. So, again, we're going to kind of look at some of the pieces of this. And so you've got, outside release, and you get the outside release, and he gets outside. Then he's going to kind of play behind him. He's playing trail. He doesn't have safety help, but he does have good makeup speed. So you're trying to make it the angle. You're trying to make it to where it's difficult for the quarterback to throw the ball. Like, if you're playing trail, you can't throw the ball inside there. That ball has to go up over the top, and you have to be perfect with it. So that's the technique Stokes is playing. It's that technique a lot of guys are playing here. But here's what I want to show. So he gets this outside release. And we actually saw this with an MVS route, the big gainer on the Packers' first drive. So he gets the outside release, and then he comes back inside. Boop. So Stokes is setting up to kind of take him inside, and then that receiver comes back out, or take him outside, and then that receiver comes back inside. That's kind of tough to deal with, and you can easily lose contain, especially if you're a little, stiff in the hips. Say that's a term that likes to be thrown around, but for a cornerback, you do have to. If you don't have those loose hips, if you're a little stiff there, this can kill you because you're playing this outside, and then he comes back inside. You got to flip around and you got to get that. And you can watch Stokes do exactly that. That transition is tremendous. He turns, he stays with him. The route goes back outside. Stokes is with him. He finds, and this is one of the most impressive things to me, because this is where you can get lost sometimes. All right, so he turns there. You can see him. Let's kind of drag this a little bit. He turns his head, finds the man, while the ball is in the air. This is a little blurry. He turns back around and finds the ball. So he's, again, takes the outside. He's got his man pinned to the outside. Man comes back inside. Gets turned, stays with him inside. Man goes back outside. Turns around, finds him, keeps step with him, and then turns around to locate the ball. Like some high-level stuff there for a man on an island there with a rookie who, one of the knocks on him was, a little stiff. So this was a really cool play. I really like that from Stokes. The second play we're going to look at is another one, kind of the same thing, not really the same thing, but we're going to look. This is shorter. This is going to be Stokes here. This is going to be the matchup. And again, he's going to be locked up with his man. And we're going to see kind of a little in cut and then kind of follow him out on a scramble drill. You can see, okay, he stays out. He funnels him inside. That's what you're supposed to do. He stays with them out of the break. Now, this is what we'll say. We'll watch the rest of it here. He goes out. And the ball's offline, but Stokes doesn't give him a very good place to put any of it. So one of the knocks on Stokes, and one of the things I'd seen, and I was kind of looking at him coming out of college, is that kind of top of the break stuff. He kind of would lose balance at the top of his breaks, and some of that I think was his speed. He was so eager to kind of use that speed. He'd use that, and he'd kind of fall back with that vertical stem that when the guy broke it off at the top of the route, Stokes kind of he lost his balance. You'd see a break, and then you'd see Stokes 5 to 7 yards downfield because he'd have to stop himself and bring himself back and all of that. And you see here, like at the top of the he doesn't panic. He doesn't get lost at the top of this route. You can see him boom, 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 right there. It's turning. He's pivoting back out. Stokes is right there with him. He slams on the brakes. He's able to reverse. He's right back with him. And again, just sticks with him. And if that's something that if he gets lost at the top of this route, if he did what we saw from him in college a little bit, and he's kind of out over here, well, suddenly this route here is out here. Wilson rolls out. that throw's not as tough. He can kind of lob it up there, and it's he's likely got a touchdown. Instead, he's got to, while he's evading, he's got to make sure he puts this out somewhere because Stokes is right on his hip. So really nice play. And again, this to me, of all the ones, I think this was the most promising that I saw, just because the main issue that kept cropping up at Georgia was a lot of times you get to the top of that break and Stokes was nowhere to be found because he was 5 to 7 yards downfield because he couldn't quite slam on the break. So really promising stuff there from Stokes on that one. This is going to be the last one we're going to look at. And this is later in the game, and this is going to be kind of another scramble, but kind of what he does here. Again, he's on an island here, and we're going to watch him. He sticks with him. So he doesn't give up on the play. He sticks with his man throughout. We'll watch it and then kind of go back through it. There he is, going back. He falls back. Top of the route. Falls back, keeps his eye, comes back, breaks it up. Now, it's not a huge pass breakup. Not a whole lot was asked of him there, but still, it's pretty impressive to me. So again, all right, we're going to watch him. Here we go. Backpedal, kind of slow backpedal there. Doesn't overcommit. Wants to see what's going on in front of him. It's easier to break down on something. So if this ended up being, say, an in cutter or something, then that gives Stokes an opportunity to kind of break on it. So it's easier to break down than it is to back up. And so he knows he's got the speed. He uses that backpedal. He gets himself in good position, and then kind of falls back underneath, turns when he needs to. There he is, right on the outside hip. When it stops, again, sticks with his man. Falls off a little just because he's that far downfield. You can recover a little bit, but he's not 10 yards downfield. He's a yard and a half off his man. So he sticks with him out of the break, out of that kind of lazy break there on that second reaction. Wilson throws the ball. That ball just came out of his hand there, and it comes back. And so he's going to have to come back for this. And Stokes is right with him every step of the way. Steps in front of the pass. Does not let this be complete. This could have been a big gain. Stokes plays it well, reads it, and we'll watch the second angle here as well, just so we can kind of see him. But stuck with his man throughout. Again, nice back pedal, stays with him on the vertical, doesn't get lost at the top of the route. Is able to stick with him, comes back, makes a nice pass breakup late in the game. Piece of cake. That looks so easy when he knocks that ball down. So easy. So again, I'm just this game, and not only just this game, just throughout this season when he's been playing, it seems like he's getting better every week, and I really like what he's shown. I like the improvement he's shown in his game so far.